Hello everyone, and good morning. It is Friday, December 12th, 2025, and I am Lindsay Potter, your head gardener here at the Yarn Garden in Charlotte, Michigan. And I was just noticing I got this little flyaway that wants to just stick right up. I did wear a hat to my walk, on my walk to work this morning, so you never know what's going to happen there. Anywho, good morning everybody. I am so glad you are here. Jamie, you are the first commenter. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, Karen and Christina and Maggie. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. So happy to see everyone here today. I'm just gonna probably hold this and pretend that I'm crocheting because I can't do it on camera and talk to you guys too. Oh, good morning, Lori. Hello, Janelle, Celeste, Sandy, Kathy. Roberta is watching in very cold, snowy Minneapolis. Hello, Crystal. Good morning. Good morning. I have a lot to talk about today. I'm super excited to share lots of goodies with you guys. Good morning, Anna. Hello, Mom. Good morning. Good morning. So let's jump right in, shall we? All right. Today I have a brand new yarn to talk about. I have 6 new colors of one of our favorite cozy textured yarns. I have new point point protectors, if I can spit that out. I have all sorts of things to chat about. So we're gonna go for it. So the first thing that I wanted to share with you guys, of course, what we always start with is what has been on my needles or hooks this week. So I'm going to share with you my Advent project. So I'm only, let's see, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. I'm just adding day 9's color of our Advent calendar into my Juniper cowl. If you don't want to see colors yet, I don't know why, because I'm behind by a day or two, but anywho, I'm going to hold it up. So if you don't want to see it, look away. Here is my Juniper cowl so far. Juniper cowl so far. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 colors finished, and I have my 5th color is just getting started down here at the bottom. It is this color down here. So I'm thrilled with how this is turning out. The nice thing with crochet is you don't have to worry about a knitting needle restricting your stitches. So I could try this on whenever I want to try it on. And I actually love the way it's fitting. It's a little tighter up here. As you can see, it's a little bit smaller. But I think with blocking, and it does stretch over my head, and then it just fits really nicely up and close up against my neck. And then I'm increasing, as you can see, as it goes down. So it will get wider at the bottom. So I think it should lay really nicely, kind of like the cowl that I am wearing. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Crystal. So I'm super thrilled with that. I did not open my package this morning, so I don't even know what day 12 of our Advent calendar was. So I'll have to save that for opening up for later. Hi, Scarlett. Good morning. I'm glad you're here. So that's what's been on my hook. I feel like I've been focusing a little bit more on my gnome. This is getting, unfortunately, a little bit boring, but you're doing the same thing over and over again. So the nice thing is this does have the increasing every once in a while, so I have something to look forward to and to count, right? Like I have to keep track of my rounds to do something, so that helps keep my interest a little bit. So the other thing that I have been focusing on is Gnandad's Grand Adventure. So this is Sarah Schira's this is her Advent project that she does every December to create a gnome. So this is through Clue 4. I have looked through Clue 5, and I haven't had an opportunity to sit down and really focus on the cool new technique that comes in Clue 5, and I'm not going to give anything else away. So I will share that in just a second. So if you don't want to see Gnandad so far, go ahead and look away. So let's see. Love the information on the cowl. Okay, we'll chat about that after I show off Gnandad. Good morning, Karen. Sherry is watching from sunny, warm French Polynesia. I'm so jealous. Hello, Kara. Good morning. Okay, so here is Gnandad so far. And look at how cute. I believe, I have not been confirmed, this has not been confirmed, but I believe that this is Gnandad's hat. So here's his hat with his sassy little toppers, cute little knots there with the I-cord tops. So I believe this is his hat, and then the start of his body. Clue 5, I think, has a cool technique that becomes Gnandad's belt, I think. But again, I haven't gotten that far. So this is through clue 4. Here we go. Good morning, Jen. Yes, so that's been really super fun. I've been working up on those 2 things. Okay, so what I'm wearing, I always like to make sure that we talk about that too. Good morning, Mary. She's here for a bit. So I have 2 things, well, 3 things that are hand knit, but the socks are on my feet and they're adventure socks, so they don't count. Good morning, Kathy. This is my own design. This is called the Soft Stripes Cowl, Cozy Stripes Cowl. I do that every time. I debated on the name here. So the soft, I did it again. Cozy Stripes Cowl. This particular version is done with 2 skeins of Noro Kureyon, and then a skein of Ariel. So a skein of our fuzzy mohair. So the colorful stripes are the Noro, is the Noro. You could also use, Silk Garden could also be used. You could use Ito, but you'd have a lot of yarn left over. There's a couple other yarns that could substitute, but we'll say 100 grams of a self-striping worsted weight yarn. And then it's striped with a mohair. So it helps make a really drapey fabric that lays really nicely. And I love the shape of this. So it's knit a little bit tighter up at the top, fewer stitches, and then it's increased down from the bottom. So you get a little bit of a drape here. I love a shape like that. Let's see, the other thing, good morning, Tammy. Paulette says, my glasses are wild. I know, aren't they cute? Remember, these are the kind that you can take the topper off, so you can get lots of different designs, but they're knitting. Get up close and personal with you guys, but they're knitting. Okay, the other thing I'm wearing is my Alanis tee. This is knit out of vintage. It has a pocket. You know you're obligated as a woman if your clothing that you wouldn't expect to have pockets has pockets, and they're unexpected, then you have to share that you have pockets. So it has a pocket, and I used a contrast color lining for the pocket. So yes, this is the Alanis tee by Elizabeth Smith, and it is on Ravelry, of course. Both patterns are on Ravelry, or my design here is available in store. Yeah, that's what I'm wearing. And adventure socks, but you don't need to see those. They're just plain socks. Thank you, Krista. Kathy says, it's so fun to knit. It is. I like, so you can see it's asymmetrical, right? In the design, you got the pocket on this side, and it has a garter stitch, like top or pocket cover. I don't know what you'd call that, but the front of the pocket is garter stitch, and then on this side, it's got 3 stripes, if you will, 4 stripes of garter stitch. It's got deep garter stitch ribbing, or not ribbing, garter stitch finish at the bottom, and it has a split hem that's a little bit longer in the back. So I love this design. I wear it a lot. I think I'm becoming a convert to like these vests or layering pieces that you can just throw on over your long sleeve t-shirts or whatever you've got. I think that I'm quickly becoming enamored with those. So yeah, so that's what I've been working on. That is what I'm wearing. So now let's talk about a couple of fun little accessories that we've gotten. Between Jason, myself, and my friend Ray Jane, we have come up with a new bag tag design. So those of you that might be new around here, get ready, because we celebrate Finish Object February here. So I know we're like still a month and a half away or so, but if you know about Finish Object February, we play bingo, and every bingo square has something to do with finishing a project. So people have started to gear up for bingo and start to kind of pre-plan what projects they want to finish. So we were talking kind of jokingly about, well, I don't want to finish this right now. I'm going to save it for Finish Object February. Or I'm going to start this sock now. I'm going to knit one, and then I'll knit the second one in February to get my bingo square. So we thought, well, wouldn't it be fun to be able to tag your projects that you're putting away and have it say, waiting for February. So we have these cute little project bag tags. I know it's backwards on the screen, but it does say waiting for February. And then the flip side says hashtag FO February, and it has the Yarn Gardens logo. So now you can go through your whips from the past year. You can get them organized, and you can stick your bag tag on your bag, or like in my case, I have this shawl that I have knit 1 ball's worth of yarn onto, and I've decided, well, I've actually decided that I wasn't going to probably ever finish this, but maybe I might. So I went ahead and stuck my bag tag right on the shawl that this is waiting for February. So those are available right now for pre-order. And Jason, I believe these are a featured product on the website?
Yep. I just started production today on those.
Yep, so we have them set right now as a pre-order, but Jason just started producing more, so we should have them next week. We should have some in store. We may even have those. I'll say next week. We'll have them in store next week.
We may have some by tomorrow.
He says maybe by tomorrow. We'll see. But you can always pre-order and then make sure that you save yourself a waiting for February bag tag so that you can be all set and organized to just jump right in to the knitting or crocheting or making or finishing that happens around here in the month of February. So that is, again, available for pre-order right now on our website, yarngardenmichigan.com. Just scroll up a little bit and you'll see our our featured products, and it's one of the items there. Do you guys know that you can always go to our website and maybe get a little sneak peek at what we're going to talk about during Feature Friday? Have a good day, guys. So you can always go to yarngardenmichigan.com, scroll up a little bit, and we always try and have our featured items be what we're going to talk about during Feature Friday. So you get a little sneak peek of what we're going to talk about. Maybe, unless I go totally off the wall and show things that Jason has no idea about. That does happen. Like these. He had no idea that I was going to show our whimsical point protectors that are holiday themed today, but we're going to do it. These are available for purchase on our website, but there are no images. There are no images for these. So you can order by what the name is, and I'll make sure and say exactly the name. So these are all holiday inspired point protectors. So the first one up is Santa Kitty. Santa Kitty. So it's a cute little tiger striped kitty cat with a Santa hat. With a Santa hat. I'm going to save that one. I think this is my last set of penguins. Penguins with a scarf and hat. So a cute little set of penguins. I like these because these could be seasonal, not necessarily Christmas specific, but just seasonal. I thought these were hilarious. Ugly Christmas sweaters. And that's the name of the product that I put in there. Ugly Christmas sweaters. That is the name of that cute little project. So these whimsical point protectors are $9.95 for the pair. Crocheters, you can use these on the ends of your hooks to help find them in your bag. If you're like me, I can never find the dang things, the dang hook that I'm using. So it's nice to have something a little bigger on the hook to be able to grab. This one is the Snowflake Gnome. This might be the last one of this set also, but I think this one's cute because, again, he's more seasonal than holiday specific. Do I have any fans of the Little Debbie Christmas tree snack cakes? If I do, this is the Christmas tree cakes. It says, "'Tis the season." 'Tis the season, and it has the cute Little Debbie Christmas tree. There you can see it, right side up. So there you go. That is the Christmas tree cakes is the name of that one. Next up, I have Snowman Gnome. So a little gnome that looks like a snowman. Again, more seasonal than holiday, but still cute. Little snowman gnome. All right, these next two gnomes they look very similar, but the first one, this little set of gnomes is holding a gift. So he's holding a little present. And then this one is holding a tangle of Christmas lights. So this one is called Holiday Lights Gnome. Holiday Lights Gnome. So these are great little stocking stuffers if you have a knitter or crocheter in your life. These are great little stocking stuffers. This is the Yeti. I think that the Yeti is adorable myself. Cute little Yeti. And then last but not least, I wonder how many of you will get this reference. This is Jelly of the Month. These are Jelly of the Month point protectors. So does anybody know what movie this would be referencing? These little Jelly of the Month cute little point protectors. Drop it in the comments if you have an idea, if you have a guess. Tell me what you think that is referencing. Does anybody know? I'm just looking to see if anybody guesses. And I am wondering, actually, if my comments are not working because I haven't heard from anybody in a minute. So I'm logging on here on Facebook to see. My last comment is from Kathy Pierce that says, "So fun to knit." And that's when we were talking about Alanis. So bear with me one second while I get over to the video, because that's one of my favorite things about Feature Friday is being able to interact with you guys. So let's get over here. All right. Comments. Yeah, see a lot more comments. Here we go. Christmas vacation. All right, you guys are guessing right. I love it. Okay, let me go back and find my comments. All right, there's Kathy. Nancy says, good morning. Pam shared that her New Year's plan is to pull out all her UFOs and complete them. I mean, set a realistic goal, Pam. Just keep in mind that this is a hobby, and I'm speaking to everybody, not just you, Pam, but this is a hobby that's supposed to bring you joy. And if shopping for yarn or going into your stash and casting on a new project or starting a new crochet granny square brings you joy, then you should feel free to do that. But I love the idea of getting ourselves organized. That's part of the idea behind Finish Object February, is to get us organized so that we know what we have and we can start to make some decisions. So I was partially joking, Pam, when I said to set a realistic goal. But also, I think making plans for new projects brings a lot of joy, whether that is buying the supplies for a new project or shopping in your stash or just dreaming up new things that you want to make. I think that brings me a lot of joy, and I think I'm not alone in that. So leave yourself a little bit of wiggle room. I love the idea, but leave yourself a little bit of wiggle room. Linda says, I love that you think the whips are only from this year. Well, I know, Karen, I know. Let's see. Some of us, Jamie Minea knows. Karen says some of us would need to buy those tags in bulk. Well, Karen, get in touch with us. Let us know how many you want. I'm sure Jason could work out a volume price break for you. Thank you, Barb. We're going to talk about that in just a second. All right, and we've got lots of guesses. Jamie, Celeste, Andrea, Maggie. Jamie says her favorite Christmas movies. Cindy is saying, love the Advent gifts. Will you post the yarn color names? Oh, Cindy, good question. I didn't name them. I did not name them because I wasn't sure if they were ever going to become a part of the permanent lineup for Gnome River. So I didn't name them. Now there are some colors that I do absolutely adore and want to bring into the full lineup. And at that point, that's probably when they will be bestowed with a name. But thank you for asking. I wondered if people were missing that or if that was something that people wanted. So I do appreciate hearing that and understand that names are important. Names are important. And Pam was following up. Oh, trust me, I will also begin new projects. Okay, good. Good morning, Jean. So those of you that are just joining in, for some reason, my comments stopped coming up on my video here where I can see it. So now I need to refer to my tablet, which is fine. That is no big deal. Okay, so that was all of our accessories. I have a lot of yarn to talk about, you guys, so we're gonna get there. We're gonna do it. Jason, are we ready to talk about color of the month? Yes, okay, excellent. So, let's talk about color of the month.
I'm surprised no one's found it on the homepage yet.
Jason just said he's surprised that no one has found it on the homepage yet. Let's see here. So I wanted to, okay, we're going to talk about 2026 color of the month. Jason and I are excited to share that we are doing color of the month for 2026 with just a few minor differences from this year. First, biggest difference is that you get to choose what base you want to have your color of the month dyed on, with two base options. So our regular gnome's feet, which is our fingering weight, or our standard DK weight, which is Clever Gnome. So you get to choose when you place your order which base you want your color of the month dyed on. That's different than 2025, where we dictated which base it was dyed on and it alternated every month. So this year you get to choose, for 2026, you get to choose which base you want your color of the month dyed on. So that's one change. The second change is you have the option to choose additional durations. So for 2025, you could only buy it by the month. So you'd buy January's in December, you'd buy February's in January, etc. So you could only do it, the only option was to buy it by the month. Now you could add several months into the cart at once if you wanted to. But many of you were buying several months at a time anyway. So we went ahead and made the option for you to purchase the annual membership. So that's January through December of 2026. Right off the bat, you can choose to just, I know I want all of them because I love Gnome River yarns and Lindsay's awesome. So I'm gonna buy all of them all at once and I don't have to worry about it again. Or you can buy them by the quarter. So again, quarter one would be January, February, March, and then April, May, June, etc. for the 4 quarters. So if you want 6 months worth, you could buy quarter one and quarter two, and then you still also have the option to buy by the month. So that way you have options to fit your budget, and also you can buy multiple months a little bit easier. So that's another major difference from what we did last year. So yes, so that is another major option change. The third big difference is that this year we decided that the color of the month yarns are only going to be yarns. Jason will not be creating a stitch marker every month to go along with that. So the color of the month price per skein is just for the yarn, which is $28. So just like you normally would purchase our yarns off the shelf. So that's the third major difference. And okay, the last little bit of info to share with you about the color of the month. When you go to order, if you're going to do it online, you'll see that there are 3 drop-down menus. The first menu is to choose whether you are going to be picking up your yarn or whether you are going to have your yarn shipped. Shipping adds an additional fee of $7, and that is built in to the price of the yarn. Okay, so that's your first drop-down menu. Second drop-down menu is duration. So again, this is where you make your choice that I want the annual, I want all 12 months, I want to purchase by the quarter, or I want to purchase just by the month. So that's where you'll choose that. Third drop-down menu is your base. So you will choose either Gnome's Feet, just fingering weight, Clever Gnome, which is DK weight. So the only thing I will say if you choose annual and then you choose fingering weight, all 12 months will be on our fingering weight base. So there won't be a way to change that, okay? So keep that in mind too. So again, 3 options. You choose pick up or ship, your duration, and then your base. And again, shipping is built in to all of those costs. So you'll also see a box right underneath your drop-down menus that asks you to fill in your shipping address if we're shipping to you. So make sure you fill out where you want your color of the month yarn to be shipped. And then at checkout, we want you to choose store pickup, right? So everyone, all of you, regardless of whether we're actually physically shipping to you or not, we want you to choose local pickup as your shipping option because you're already paying for shipping when you choose that drop-down menu. Okay, I hope that's not like super confusing, but it's all detailed in the product listing, and of course we are always happy to help you navigate through and work through any questions that you might have. We can ring you up over the phone for any of it, and of course we can ring you up in store as well. So we are excited to launch 2026 Color of the Month. So all of that being said, are you guys ready to see January's color? I'm super excited. So this is as yet unnamed, and I was inspired by Pantone's Color of the Month. Color of the Year. So if you don't know, I had to Google actually. Pantone chooses a color of the year every year. So I actually Googled, what is Pantone? Why do they get to choose what the color of the year is going to be? So I just had it pulled up, and of course away it went. Okay, so Pantone is a company that provides a universal color language, most famously through its Pantone matching system, which standardizes colors for design, printing, fashion, and manufacturing to ensure consistent color reproduction across different materials and devices. So they create the color codes that the paint companies can use, the home decor fabric companies can use, the graphic designers can use those codes, the yarn companies will use those codes to create their colors for the year. So Pantone does this thing where they predict the color that's going to be popular for the year. So I was so inspired by the color that they chose this year, that January's Color of the Month is this beautiful shade of white. Oh, I can't even see it with a straight face. Oh my goodness. Pantone, this is a joke. This is not the January Color of the Month. Pantone picked white as their color of the year. Can you guys believe that? White. So this is something that people are supposed to use to be inspired by for the whole entire coming year. White. They call it Cloud Dancer. So Cloud Dancer, a lofty white whose aerated presence acts as a whisper of calm and peace in a noisy world. The last thing that this world needs is bland, blah, boring, right? So I'm totally kidding with you guys. This is our undyed base. This is Moonlight. And white is already our starting point for any artist. I mean, indie dyers, this is our base. It's white or natural, you know, it's undyed. A canvas starts off undyed, white, muslin colored, whatever you want to say. Primed walls are white to start with. Most pieces of paper are white. Notebooks, sketchbooks. I mean, we're already starting with white as our blank canvas. I just can't believe. I cannot believe. I was floored when they decided that the color of the month was Cloud Dancer or white. Last year for 2025, it was Mocha Mousse. So like a medium brown. Come on, you're gonna follow up that neutral with a boring white? So anyway, I'm totally playing with you guys. That is not our color of the month. Our color of the month is, I mean, it was inspired by the lack of the color of the year. Yeah. So here's our color of the month. Actually, I'm gonna look at my comments. Let's see. Love that idea. Let's see. Blizzard. Maggie's laughing. Alexa says, I heard you say that and went, crickets. It's not even a color. I knew the color, was wondering where you were going. I'm laughing so hard because I thought I remembered you saying how uninspiring that was. Kathy says, excuse me, but that is so dumb. Cindy says that's a cop-out on their part. Must not have been able to agree in their meeting. Agreed. White is also a neutral. Maybe that's a political statement. There has been a lot of scuttlebutt about that, Sandy, which is another reason why I'm not a huge fan of the color choice. Rita says, I don't wear white. It picks up stains too easily. It's funny you say that because my girls, who are now 11, almost 12, I would not buy them white shirts. They knew that from the time that they could pick out their own clothes at the store. Oh, that's white. Mom won't buy it for us because we do not do white. We do not do white in our house. So anyway, I hope you guys got a little chuckle out of that on your Friday morning, that we were going to actually use undyed white as our January color of the month. So that being said, you can be assured there will be no neutral colors from Gnome River Yarns for the color of the month for 2026. I can make you that promise. So January's colors are inspired. I don't have a color name yet, but it's going to be something glacial. Something, maybe it's going to be a Yeti, something or other. But without further ado, here is our actual color of the month for January 2026. So here you go. It is this beautiful, beautiful combination of ice blues, kind of spearmint greens, some really pretty purple, shades of purple lavender, and there are some really beautiful speckles of a darker purple, some pink in there, some blue. So this is the real January color of the month for Gnome River Yarns. For Gnome River Yarns. I hope you guys like it. I hope you like it. So that is it. So again, you can pre-order. It's live now. So again,
both bases you showed.
Yes, this is both bases. This is our fingering weight. This is Gnome's feet. And then here it is without the label. This is Clever Gnome. So there they are together. This is the fingering weight. This is the DK weight. So you can see how it knits up or looks. Maybe it looks a little different if you wanted to make your choice. Okay, so now I'm coming back to my comments. Let's see here. Oh, thanks you guys. I love it. We need a color revolt. Agreed. Jennifer sharing, I've seen so many yarn companies, artists, etc. correct the color of the year. And Gretchen shares a great point. Maybe that's their point, a fresh restart. I can see that, Gretchen, I really can. But their job when they are creating a color of the year, when they're forecasting something, is to inspire. I don't know any, I haven't seen any creative person, creative company, creative business, any people that actually create the things that we will use in our life in the next year actually say they are inspired by a lack of color. So I do see that point, Gretchen, and that is a point that they have made when they've defended their color choice. But yeah, anyway, Deb says it's a clean start like snow. Yeah, yep, I love it. Glacier, yes, yep. Pam says, ew, Glacier Mountain. I love it. Okay, so that is our color of the month. If you have any questions, you want to have suggestions, any of those things, please let me know. We're always open to that. Okay, and thank you for playing along. I couldn't even say it with a straight face. That's hilarious. All right. Jason didn't know I was going to do that either.
Yeah, you got me. I definitely took a pause and a look up and like, what?
What is she talking about? I love it. All right, so let's see, 11:36. We got lots of time. The next bit of exciting news that I want to share with you guys, the Yarn Garden has started a YouTube channel. Now, please bear with me because I have been mulling over this decision or this idea actually for many years to start a YouTube channel, but that's really as far as it's ever gotten. I have never done any research on actually doing it. So I guess most of the time my method for starting new things is to jump in and just do it. Sometimes I get analysis paralysis, and so my default response is to just don't do it. So I don't know what to do, so I'm just not going to do anything. And sometimes I get a big burst of courage, and I just do it. So yesterday was the day that I just decided I'm just going to do it. So I have started a series over on YouTube called Off the Workbench with the Head Gardener. And it is going to be shorter videos than our Feature Friday videos. And it is just going to be, at least starting out, reviewing different yarns that we carry. You guys know, if you're here with me, every week, or you tune in for a part of our hour here together, you know that I love to talk about yarn. I love to share all the information that I can get my hands on about yarn, and I can talk about yarn for hours. So I decided to go ahead and I just was going to jump right in and do it. So I recorded my first episode of Off the Workbench last night, reviewing a brand new yarn from Kelbourne Woolens. I did share the link on our Facebook page last night, so if you want to watch it, go ahead and go check it out. We, of course, as with anything, we will learn and figure out things to make some changes and make it better, but you know, sometimes you just have to jump in and just do it. So totally unedited, other than I created the little thumbnail for it. Otherwise, it is unedited, just me talking about Cozy. So make sure you do go check it out. If you're a YouTube user, I would love it if you would like the video and subscribe. I didn't know this about YouTube, but a lot of the options for video sharing are locked until you get either a certain number of views or a certain number of subscribers. So when the people that you're watching, the video creators that you're watching, when they say, please like my video and subscribe, of course, we're doing that because we want to have those numbers, but we're also doing that because it helps us unlock more and more options. At least that's what I'm understanding so far from my my dive right into the deep end of YouTube creating. So that's it. And so I am going to talk about Cozy. We're looking back on my comments here. Thank you guys. Fiona's asking, is it possible to get the color of the month to ship quarterly to save on shipping? It's a great question, Fiona. I've never been asked that. Jason and I will talk about that. Would you mind sending the Yarn Garden a direct message asking that question so that I have it separately to review and keep in mind? And we'll talk about it and see what we come up with. It's a good question. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Yes, subscribe and hit the like. Kathy is asking, how often will you be in YouTube? I don't know the answer to that yet, Kathy. I have considered, I can download these Feature Friday videos, and I have considered uploading them over onto YouTube. I don't know if people will watch them over there, but it will get more videos over there. You know, I like to interact with you guys, and I don't know if people watching a replay on YouTube will want to see that. I don't know. Maybe. But anyway, to answer your question, I'm not putting a time constraint or a time restriction on it. Whenever I feel like I want to review a yarn, I'll get set up and I will do the review and I'll post it. So I'm not sticking to a set schedule like I do here. But that's a great question. That is a great question. Jenny's asking what my channel name is. I don't know. Jason, what's my channel name? I don't know. I think if you search the Yarn Garden, you might find me. That's so funny. I will have that information for us, and it will be in the Feature Friday show notes. How about that? How about that? It's a great question. All right. So let's talk about Cozy. Okay. Cozy is a brand new yarn from Kelbourne Woolens. I know many of you guys have said that you watched the YouTube feature, the Off the Workbench episode. So I will not. Oh, thank you. I love it. There's a search function on YouTube, so if you posted the old videos, we could search. Cheryl is posting that it's our handle, which is at Yarn Garden MI9176. Karen, Casey Caruso, shared that it's Yarn Garden MI. So if you search Yarn Garden MI, then you will be able to find us. Pam is sharing, I started watching YouTube videos for quilting, and after one, it switched me to knitting. I love watching them and knitting and learning. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see where it goes. But again, it's been something that I have wanted to do for a long time, but I was stuck in decision making, so I just decided, you know what? I'm going to do it. And I think people enjoy people enjoy the realness of reality like I do on Feature Fridays. And so I think that will carry over into our whatever series we do over on YouTube. So you'll just get more of me. All right, let's talk about cozy. So cozy, let me grab a skein. And of course I'm gonna pick my favorite color because we all do that. Cozy is a 70% superwash merino wool, 30% easy wash alpaca. You heard me right, easy wash alpaca. So this is the first yarn on the market that I've ever heard of that has made alpaca machine washable. So they do this by, there's a specific enzyme process that the alpaca goes through to make it so that it is machine washable. So this indulgent, luxurious feeling yarn is machine washable. So if you've got kids in your life, cozy would be a great option. Again, it is a superwash merino wool. It is a 100-gram hank, just like this, and it is 201 yards for 100 grams. It is labeled as a number 3 or light. However, the recommended gauge is 20 to 22 stitches to 4 inches. So you can get away with like a light worsted weight to DK weight pattern option if you're looking within that gauge range, 20 to 22 stitches to 4 inches. For my knitters, you can achieve that with a US 5 to 7 needle. For my crocheters, Kelbourne is recommending an F or a G or 3.5 to 4 millimeter hook. So that's gauge information. So again, as I said, it is easy wash alpaca. So it is machine washable on cold, or of course you can hand wash it. But they are very adamant that you do not put it in a dryer. So we do not want heat and we do not want agitation. So dry flat, do not tumble dry, and you can use a low iron on that. So that is all the label details. Because I always like to know the origin of things, this yarn is made in Peru, which is where Kelbourne's Scout and what's the other one? Camper. Scout and Camper I know are made in Peru. So the same country of origin as those two yarns. So that is cozy. Cozy retails for $24.95. And again, remember, superwash merino wool and alpaca. So $24.95 for 30% alpaca is actually a great price. So again, this is dark teal. We are super excited that we were able to justify and fit on the shelf all 25 colors of cozy. So I'm gonna quickly go through, I'm gonna pick out some of my favorites. If you wanna see the entire color line, I do go through it on our YouTube episode, our Off the Workbench episode. So you can go through and see every color, but I'm just gonna feature a few of my favorites here for the sake of time. This is of course dark teal. I love dark teal. I love it. Another favorite is olive. Look at that beautiful green. Oh, I think it's gorgeous. If we're thinking about knitting for kiddos, we've got some great pastel shades. Like we've got this lovely rose quartz, mint, and butter. I think that would be such a cute little baby something or other. Okay, one more. I'm gonna choose this one. This is caramel. This is actually the color that I got 2 bags of, and I will be knitting something out of caramel. The other thing I love about Kelbourne, and I talked about this too, for every yarn that Kelbourne creates, they come up with this adorable little logo or a little emblem to represent the yarn. So this is a cute little overstuffed chair, and it has a little basket of yarn on it. Doesn't it look so cozy? And it's called cozy. I love it. So that is caramel. I'm going to share, let me just stuff this in here, and I'll share the basket of the other gorgeous colors. So there you have it. There is the basket full of other gorgeous colors. 201 yards, Jean. 201 yards. So again, we do have an undyed. We have a great solid black. Solid black can be a little bit difficult to find. Some really pretty icy grays. Here we've got a nice series of icy grays. So these colors are all solid. They're not heathered. They're not matte. The texture on them, the surface texture is not matte like Germantown or really shiny, but it does have a little bit of a sheen to it. I think that's the alpaca. Gives it a little bit of a sheen. So yeah, that is cozy. I do have a tiny little swatch. I was able to get my hands on a little tiny, the smallest little hank of cozy before I ordered it. I was able to get a skein of it, a mini skein to try of it. This is the amount of yarn I got to make this adorable little swatch, and I love it. I really do. I'm looking forward to figuring out. It's gonna have to wait until January probably before I figure out and cast on a project, but that will happen. It will absolutely happen. They really are gorgeous in person. Agreed. Okay. I do have a bundle. I do have a Ravelry bundle featuring garments, featuring accessories. There's some adorable kid options in here. So I'll make sure and share that bundle in our show notes post after the video posts. So make sure and check back for some pattern ideas, okay? So that's cozy. And how are we on time? What time is it? 11:49. Oh, look at that. Got lots of time. Lots of time. Let me get this stuff out of the way. And let's talk about the 6 brand new colors of one of our favorite cozy. See, I'm going to keep saying cozy. Now I need, Kendra, when you watch this, I now need a flip book like you made me for the word fun, but for the word cozy. Let's see, Linda says, I'll be curious to see what people knit with cozy. Oh, actually, that reminds me, Linda, and everybody else. Kelbourne will be releasing 4 designs over the first part of 2026. I believe they are all garments. I don't necessarily know why I think they're adult garments, but I feel like they are. But anyway, so they are designing specific projects for cozy. Those will be released again in the beginning of 2026. So we are looking forward to that. I'm hoping that I'll be able to get in on their trunk show so that we can actually get those 4 garments in so you can see and investigate and check out how it looks. All right, so the next thing that we are going to chit chat about is a favorite fuzzy yarn of ours here at the Yarn Garden. And I can't remember when this yarn came out, if it was last year or the year before. But this yarn is from Juniper Moon Farm, and it comes on a giant skein, like it is a huge ball of yarn. This is fairy floss. So I have six new colors of fairy floss. So let's talk details as a reminder. Fairy floss is 100 grams. So even though this weighs the same amount as this, there is a considerable difference in the actual length of yarn here, right? And size of the ball, like the volume that it takes up. So fairy floss is 100 grams, 328 yards, and it is considered a super bulky. So that is a ton of yards for a super bulky. A lot. So again, recommended gauge 7 to 11 stitches. This is knitting gauge. 7 to 11 stitches over 4 inches on an 11 to a 17. For my crocheters, 7 to 9 stitches using an M to Q or 9 to 15 millimeters. So it's a pretty big range, and they can get away with that because of how textured this yarn is. So it is a blown in style yarn. So it's 73% extra fine wool, 15% baby alpaca, and 12% polyamide. So that polyamide is, there's a little polyamide tube. It looks like a little bit of netting. And then the wool and alpaca is blown into that tube to create this really light, fluffy yarn. So again, because it's 100 grams, typically a bulky or a super bulky yarn only has 80 yards of a single ply when you think of a super bulky yarn. So because This has 328 yards on there. That's telling me that the yarn itself is very light or a unique construction, a weird, odd, off the wall, not plied construction. So that's one of my favorite kinds of yarns to carry for that gauge. Hi, Linda. She says fairy floss is yummy. And Jan Saint Amour is sharing that I love my cowl I made with fairy floss last year. Yes, it's so good. You can make a fabulous one skein cowl. I'm going to share that here in a second, out of one ball. One ball. So again, this is extra fine wool, baby alpaca, and a little bit of polyamide. Price on it is $31.95. $31.95. So a one skein project for $31.95. I have not crocheted with this, but I think maybe that should be my next store sample, is something crocheted out of this. So if you guys have any ideas, any of my crochet friends have any ideas, shoot me a message. Send me the link. I would be interested. I'd like to keep it to one skein if we can. Okay, so let's talk about colors. Well, first I want to show this off. This is a runner. So it looks like a scarf, right? A runner that the company sent to us when we ordered all 6 new colors. So we have an idea, or the color way of each color. We have a sample of it, and so I have it labeled for us so that you can see in person what each colorway is going to look like. So I'm going to refer to this when I show you the colors. That way you can see what each color knits up like. So this first one, this is Charm, 2006 Charm. Looks like this in the ball, but it is this color at the end. So here is Charm. So that is what this is going to knit up like. Isn't that pretty? I think that is a lovely color. I love that little bit of bright teal. Love that. So that is one new color. That is Charm. Next up is Folklore. Folklore. This is 2003 Folklore. So that is the next color. That is this stripe section here. So beautiful reds, oranges, very fiery. It is very flame-like, very fiery. Let's see this beautiful color. This is 2005 Illusion. This is another favorite of mine. That's gorgeous with those dusty, purpley, tealy colors. That's the first color on our little runner here. 2005. Interesting. I don't really see that green. But this fairy floss is one of those yarns, just like Noro, that sometimes you really need to pull back that first layer because look, there's that bright blue and green that we didn't see originally, but when I pull apart and kind of look down on the inside, there is that bright green and blue that we do see on our little swatch here. All right, Daydream. Look at Daydream. I love that one. This is 2004 Daydream. 2004 Daydream. And you know what? I think I have these mixed up. What do you guys think? I have this one labeled as Daydream, but you know what? I actually think it's this one. That looks way better. That looks more, okay, I need to switch these. I made a mistake, guys. 2006 Charm, that was the first one we looked at. That's actually this one here. Now that I'm holding it up, I'm pretty sure that's the case. This color looks more like Daydream. Yeah, yep, that's more correct there. So I made a mistake, guys, when we first were looking. This is actually what Daydream knits up like. I apologize for that. This scarf came unlabeled, so I had to guess. And I guessed wrong on the first one. Tammy's asking, with that yarn you're showing now, work for the cowl that you were wearing? Maybe. Yeah, I mean, with fairy floss, because of how textured it is, you can really get a wide range of gauges. And you wouldn't have to carry, or you wouldn't have to use a second skein. You could just knit it the way it is. This is 2001 Whimsical. Whimsical, that's one of my favorite words. Whimsical. So there we have it. That is what Whimsical will knit up like. All right, one last new color. This is 2002 Mirage. 2002 Mirage. So let's find the last color. That is this one here. This is Mirage, from here down to the purple. That is Mirage. That's beautiful. I like that one too. So that is 6 new colors of fairy floss. So let's toss those back in the basket so I have room here. Uh-oh. Kathy says, I hope Jason didn't hear you say you have made a mistake. Oh, he knows. Oh, he knows that I make mistakes and still loves me. All right. So let's take a look at a couple of samples that I do have in stock. The first is the Sydney cowl. So the Sydney cowl, and before you laugh and say that that cowl could fit a giraffe, this was my reaction when I first saw it. It actually folds down beautifully. So even if you don't have a giraffe neck, it does fold down and tuck in and becomes very, what's another word for cozy? Comfortable. Lovely. It's lovely. So again, this is one ball of cozy. Nope, one ball of fairy floss. See, there I go making another mistake. It's multiplying. Falling apart. I love it. Jean, the skeins of fairy floss are $31.95. $31.95. Is there a pattern to get the ridges like on the fairy sample? Snuggle. Oh, it is very snuggly, Kara. Great. That's a great alternative to cozy. Very snuggly. Especially you can tuck it in your coat. The way that I've been wearing my coat lately, it's hooded, but it's a cheaper coat. And the hood doesn't have bungees to like keep it tight, and it's a little too big. The hood is a little too big, so it blows off whenever the wind is winding. So I put the hood up first, and then I put my cowl on over the hood. So it's not this cowl that I use, but then I walk around with my hood up like this. It's very effective. Keeps the hood up, keeps me warm. But this would be a great scarf, a great cowl for that. So again, this is the Sydney cowl. It is a freebie with purchase here in the store. We can include the pattern in your purchase if you buy it with us today. We can include that in your purchase or a free copy online. You can also buy it on Ravelry. I think it's $5. You can buy it separately on Ravelry. So again, that is the Sydney cowl. And then last but not least, in store here, this is the Celine sweater. This is the Celine sweater. You might recall that earlier this fall, it was actually during the shop hop, the Mid-Mitten Yarn Shop's shop hop, we had a trunk show here with a whole slew of garments featuring fairy floss. So any of those that we shared or that we saw would be perfect for these new colors. So again, this is the Celine sweater, the Celine pullover knit out of fairy floss. So there you have it. 6 new colors of a favorite fuzzy textured yarn. And it's my mission to find a crocheted pattern to work on at some point, someday. All right, I'm gonna put this back up. Or pull up like a hood. Yes, you absolutely could pull it up like a hood. Kathy says, I think these colors would make a lovely hexagon cardigan, but looks like the color changes are too short. Yeah, I wouldn't be super striping. I mean, it would still make a beautiful fabric for a hexie party, but it would not have big blocks of color. That's correct. Yes, Cindy said pull it up like a hoodie. Thank you, Sandy. The sweater that I'm wearing is called Alanis. Oh, you're talking about the Celine. It is a cute sweater. Again, very snuggly and cozy. And comfy. Comfy could be another word. That's not cozy. Linda's asking, would that yarn work on the bulky vest you had on in your YouTube video? It could. That was the Flow Vest, F-L-O. That would make a lovely little layering vest, wouldn't it? We might have to consult and find a good, quick, like little vest pattern that would work for fairy floss. Very cute. Very good idea. How many balls for the sweater? Great question. Give me 1 second and I will find my bundle. It is already 12:02, So if you have to leave us today, I'm going to hang out and answer some questions, but I do appreciate you guys hanging out and watching. Let's see, Fairy Floss. Fairy Floss, the Celine takes... It doesn't tell me right here. Ugh, that's so frustrating. Extra small to fit bust. It doesn't tell me right here. If you want to send me a message, Tammy, send me a message and I'll let you know. I can do a little further research for you and let you know how much it takes. I want to say 3 or 4 probably for the sweater, but I can't swear to that. All right. That is it. I did have one more basket, but we're not going to talk about it today. We can talk about that maybe next week. So thank you guys for hanging out here with me again for the hour today. I appreciate that you take time out of your day, your Friday nonetheless, to hang out and hear me talk about yarn. If you are looking for another avenue to hear me talk about yarn, you can now find me over on YouTube. Yarn Garden MI is apparently the name of my channel, but I will confirm that. And I have a new series called Off the Workbench, where I am reviewing yarns. So if you want to hear more about Cozy, you can go check that out, and I'll make sure I have links in our show notes post. Also, if you missed, we announced that we are now taking signups for our 2026 Color of the Month from Gnome River Yarns, and this is the color for January. It is going to be, I don't have an official name for it yet, but it will be something glacial. Something glacial or icy or something to do with ice and glaciers, probably, because that's what it reminds me of. So there you go. I, again, appreciate you guys being here. I hope that you have a fabulous weekend, that you take some time out and get some stitches in for you, even if it's on, that you're working on a gift for someone else. The time that we take to create is a great form of self-care, and I hope that you get a chance to enjoy that for yourself this weekend. All right, you guys, thank you again so much for watching. If you are watching on the replay, thank you so much for hanging out with me during the time that works for you. I hope that you have a great weekend.